Right, guys, absolutely no fucking about with this. We've gone to level 10 here, okay? We've gone to an absolute legend of metal goodness in this album. Absolute classic Machinehead. If there's any Machinehead fans out here, you'll be more than familiar with this album. But for anyone listening that's got the slightest inclination of liking metal music or new to metal scene or anything, trust me, this is simply one of the best albums ever. Enough said. It really is that good. Wow, where do we start with this? So, I'll give you a bit of a rundown where this sits in the lineup of Machine Head albums. It's from 2007 on Roadrunner Records, where it sits in the lineup. So, obviously, the legendary first album by Machine Head, Burn My Eyes. I think that was 1994, followed up by equally excellent, really, but a bit frantic for me. The more things change. Machine Head then dropped into a solid but more commercial sounding The Burning Red. Then we had the frankly quite poor in comparison Supercharger. And then, kudos to Machine Head at the time, ignoring current trends completely. A massive return to form with Through the Ashes of the Empire. But this is fucking next level. Next level. Okay, this is, for me, by far the best Machine Head album. It's got everything. It is simply epic. Every single note from beginning to end. Whoa, jeez Louise. So the lineup, obviously, Rob Flynn. We've got Phil Demel on the other guitar. We've got Adam Duce on bass, and the simply unbelievable Dave McLean on drums. How to describe this album if you've never heard it? It's probably the most overwhelming barrage of power I've ever heard. It's just a sledgehammer of heaviness, raw fury from the first chord to the last chord, non-stop, relentless, just brutal power. About as heavy as you can get. Is it thrash? No, it's not thrash. I wouldn't describe this album as thrash. It's beyond thrash. It's got more class than thrash, if you like. It's just, I don't know. It's I struggle to find the words. But what we're going to do is, I'll sort of try and break down each track and give you an amateur's review of what I feel each track is, and what it brings to the table. Just very briefly. I'll go through what this masterpiece is. But just to say, so bear in mind as well, at the time, 2007, so without a doubt, this is Machine Head's darkest album by far. The lyrics are darker than anything before this and since, in my opinion. At the time, you've got to bear in mind the opening track, over 10 minutes, classed by Roadrunner themselves as probable commercial suicide. Who the hell has a 10-minute opening track for the album? I'll tell you who does. Machine Head. They couldn't care less. They purposefully, check this out, chose themes and narratives to the songs that was intentionally radio unfriendly. They didn't want any radio airtime with this album, and they didn't need it. They didn't get it, but they didn't need it. It's just an absolute, no holds barred, this is what we're about. So angry. It's the anger, the angst, the sheer anger that comes through from, from beginning to end. So let's talk it through. So, clenching the fist of dissent. This is fucking ferocious. Absolutely ferocious. I'll turn this over actually anyway so you can see. You probably won't be able to read it. So I'll see if it zooms in a bit, see if you can see this. You might just be able to. This is, by the way, this is a special edition one. So you get 3 CDs with this. You get, I think, like a demos and a DVD. Yeah, Clenching the Fist of Dissent. One of my favourite tracks. It's so difficult to choose a favourite track off this album, by the way. It really is. It really, really is. But definitely one of them. It's just the intro, as you heard, the start of this video is it's just gives you such a lull into a false sense of security, in regards to what's coming. It's just boom, fucking hell. I mean, the guitar work from Flynn and DeMel in this, the partnership, it's widely regarded. It's never been, tighter. He didn't have any other partnership prior to hooking up with DeMel that was anywhere close to the tightness that he delivers on this album. But yeah, oh man, moving on to Beautiful Morning. Just a complete sonic assault I've put for this one. It's just fantastic. Top level, top draw musicianship. As I said, tightness. The way the whole band is in synergy and come together is just like simply not much out there compares. It really, really doesn't. Aesthetics of Hate. Now, anyone that knows the backstory to this song, it's probably the most famous song of the album for a bad reason. It refers to an article that was written by a prick called William Grimm, whereby he went on to say that the death of Dimebag Darrell, the shooting of Dimebag Darrell, was not before time and he deserved it and blah, blah, blah. And he really, really, really does receive the wrath of Rob Flynn in this song. So that's basically what the song's about. It's his reaction and anger towards that original interview or report that arsehole made on the back of Dimebag's death or shooting, murder. So you can imagine the sheer volcano of anger. So angry, this song. It's so close to the bone, if you like. Just, oh man, yeah, fantastic track. Moving on to track 4. Now I Lay Thee Down. Probably it's the first seconds of the album from the very off where they slightly, if anything, take the foot off the pedal in terms of pace, but not for long. We can't class it a ballad, although it has got, elements of a ballad, but it's not. It's not a ballad, really, in the pure sense of the word, anyway. But again, fantastic track. Slanderous. I've put nuclear level melodic power. That is the best way to describe this song. We've got melodic elements running through it, but boy, not like you've heard before. There's certain aspects of this album almost sometimes remind me of Iron Maiden, but on fucking horse steroids or something. It's just, yeah, certain nods towards Maiden. I don't know if they're intentional by them or not, but it's just, yeah, just super sort of powered versions of. Halo, Brutal Onslaught. Now, what's so surprising and amazing with the next two tracks is we've got multiple different pacings in these tracks. You don't realise how difficult that is to pull off with a tightness involved in what they're trying to achieve here. Just epic in every sense is this track. Absolutely epic. Check out how many different pacings this song's got and how many different tracks that have had to lay down to record that particular track itself. It's mind-blowing. It's musical genius. It really, really is. Moving on to Wolves. Again, another ultra technical song. You've got next, we talk about chugging. Anyone that's familiar with like metal guitars, and you've got this chugging going on. Next level. there's chugging, and then there's this. Just awesome. Mind-blowing. Again, on guitar and drums. The way they bring it together, the way they pull that song together is just utterly mind-blowing. And then the farewell, the last track, Farewell to Arms, pretty much ends how they started the album. We've got a long, quite lower, slower pace, melodic intro, and then brutality smashes through yet again. Another epic length song. I think this is another one at 10 minutes plus. Just, oh. So again, bear in mind, we've only got 8 tracks on this album and it's 61 minutes in length. Just, oh, man. You can probably guess that I like this album. You can probably gather that I feel it's one of metal's best ever entrance, if you like. It really is. I just can't overemphasize how great this is. I've never, unfortunately, managed to see Machinehead live, but I think if I could go back and see a band, especially around this era, I would have loved to have seen Machinehead at, circa 2007 time. Performing a lot of tracks off this. I've obviously watched live videos, but what it must have been like to be in a crowd watching them perform this album is must have been something else. So that is it. Just a quick whiz through of just how great this album is. If you haven't seen this album before or heard it, please do check it out. It is an absolute metal must. Get it in your collection ASAP, and you won't be disappointed. Thanks, guys. Please like, share, sub, and leave comments. Let me know what you think if you are familiar with the blackening. You might disagree with me. If you disagree with me, that's even better. But you better come with a good fucking argument to back it up. That's all I'm saying. Take it easy, guys. Till next time. Ta-ra.